On Sunrise, post-election rallies across Portland just days after the nation chose its next president. We catch up with organizers and police. Plus, a driver crashes into a Vancouver home. Police tell us it's the second time this week this has happened. Your news starts now. Good morning, and thanks for joining us. I'm Libby Dowsett alongside Daisy Caballero, and we are looking at a nice morning for certain areas, and some people have fog, thick fog.
Dense fog pockets for this morning, not quite impacting the Rose City as much as it is over at the Reserve Golf Course, guys. I mean, just take a look at this, of course, a live look. And here's the rest of those. Actually, wow, this is changed within the last few minutes, actually. Low visibility up and down the I-5 corridor, Kelso, Scappoose, Hillsborough, Aurora, McMinnville, Salem. Really everyone all the way down to about the Salem area is going to be affected with these dense fog pockets for at least the next 30 minutes, a few hours maybe as well. Currently right now it is cloudy, as you can see through the Rose City Skycam. 48 degrees is our current temperature, and we're not going to be warming up too much today. It's going to be very similar to what we saw yesterday, the mid 50s by right about noon, and warming up just a few degrees for our daytime high today, which is 56 degrees for the Rose City, 57 for Vancouver, and for Longview. We have a lot to talk about, and I'll give you a look at that 7-day forecast and how long the rain is expected to stick with us. Back to you.
Thank you, Daisy. We begin with two peaceful rallies in Portland with separate messages and a special police unit on standby. Celine Stevens reports on Saturday's demonstrations.
We want liberation for all, we want justice for all, we want equal rights for all, and that is what we stand for.
Demonstrators rallied together and marched Saturday afternoon in the wake of the election. Some gathered to express their support of Palestine, calling for government to divest from Israel.
We've seen this before, right? The blockage of food, the decimation of an entire people, the blocking of medical care and the spread of disease, and to see the lack of humanity that is still present in this world today, knowing what we know historically, sickens me.
The U.S. has argued Israel has the right to defend itself. However, the United Nations has previously stated Israel has violated international law. Some speakers emphasized their point that an attack on one is an attack on all, and problems overseas translate to issues here as well.
We tend to believe that atrocities that are committed halfway around the world are alien, that we're not impacted. And what we're seeing now is that we are impacted. It's the same hate. That is causing restrictions on rights and freedoms here.
Others also advocated for workers and against what Donald Trump's administration might mean for the U.S.
We're also fighting to end the idea and push back against the idea that there should be mass deportation, that there should be abortion bans nationally, and then the idea that basically that workers deserve less.
Some demonstrators who spoke said no matter who won the election, they would have still came out to rally due to the U.S. funding Israel under the Biden-Harris administration, plus other pressing issues that left some voters dissatisfied with both parties.
We believe that basically under the previous administration, food insecurity doubled, child poverty increased. Working people were clearly unhappy with this election and didn't want either of these candidates, in my opinion.
Who is creating endless war, and who is keeping the minimum wage at $7.50 an hour nationally? It's not immigrants, it's not trans people, it's not the most vulnerable people in society, it's the oligarchs who are literally stealing from the rest of us.
Both the demonstrations were peaceful, although police presence was still evident.
We have a right to gather and to protest and to state our opinions in a public forum. So we are going to continue to exercise that right and do that.
The Portland Police Bureau has event liaison officers who say they speak with organizers ahead of the event to learn about their goals and see how they can help the demonstration remain peaceful.
We're actually here to support the demonstrations. It may not be, we're not supporting the message itself, we're supporting your right to free speech, to protest, to address the government.
I'm personally not here to throw bricks through windows or to cause any destruction or to cause anybody any harm. In fact, I'm here because I want to stop people from getting hurt.
In Portland, Celine Stevens, KGW News.
New numbers in the race for Portland City Council. With the latest vote totals released from Multnomah County, the Oregonian now projects 10 winners in the city council races. 2 races are still too close to call. The Multnomah County Elections Office says it expects to process another 4,000 ballots in the coming week. Officials say there are also nearly 12,000 ballots in which signatures have been challenged. The Elections Office said those voters have been notified and have until November 26 to cure their ballot. The final election results will be certified December 2nd. Up in Clark County, elections officials tell us there are about 3,500 ballots with either no signature or a signature without a match. You can find a full list of election results on KGW.com. We'll keep you updated as the final ballots are counted. One person is dead after a deadly head-on crash. It happened Saturday morning on the Newburgh-Dundee bypass. Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue crews arrived to find one of the drivers dead and another seriously injured. Neither person has been identified. This is not the way any of us would expect to start the day. A car crashed into a Vancouver home Saturday morning. It happened at about 8:30 in a neighborhood off Southeast 192nd Avenue and 20th Street. Vancouver police say the driver was impaired when he hit several cars before running into the home.
Was coming around the corner and heard it. And driver was at my patio door when I turned around, so good thing it was a weekend because usually it's kids going to school, standing on the corners waiting.
Vancouver police told us this is actually the second time this week that an impaired driver has crashed into a house.